D&D is full of tools, but constantly needs ideas. As a DM, you have to be continually on your toes creating session plans and interesting hooks. But creativity is a fickle creature, coming and going as it pleases. But what if it doesn't have to? There's one ultimate tool that can keep you filled with infinite ideas for your sessions and campaign instantly. Thank you to my Patreons for supporting this video. Meet the Inspiration Journal. This can be as simple or as complex as one desires, making just a simple list or a cool-looking mood board filled with your favorite ideas. Now you might be thinking, man, I thought this was going to solve generating ideas, not just make me have to struggle to think more of them and taking up more of my time. But you aren't expected to fill this journal in the void. See, that's the problem. Recently, in a friend's Discord server, I discovered something. When you ask people, what is something you've learned about art business? People struggle. We get responses like, I don't know, I suck at business. People's brains just shut down when the thing we want to answer is vague. And this is what's happening when we try to come up with a session. This is why it takes so long sometimes. However, a few weeks later, in that server, when the question was asked, what's your best advice to give someone else about starting a business? The responses came flying in. By having a direction to start thinking in, people flourished. But that's not even where it ends. There's something even more powerful than that. See, my friend who is also a player in my D&D campaign makes business videos for artists. When a new video comes out, the community is flooded with talk about how it inspired them in their own business. And that's right, that's the same people who responded, I haven't learned anything. And they're filled to the brim with ideas when they watch the content. Brains love connections. They love taking one thing and turning it into another. A long rant about business server over, we simply write down or collage in our inspiration journal as we see them rather than trying to come up with things later, allowing us to have the spark that ignites ideas quickly in our brain when we need them. Okay, so you go and pick out a badass journal, or maybe you're a digital person, so you made a canvas in Obsidian or Notion. But before you start, wait. There's one thing that will make this tool way less useful that you need to avoid. First though, if you want some ideas to jumpstart your inspiration journal, check out my Patreon. I've got various free things there even, mini campaigns, dungeons, quest hook cards, and plenty of ideas to be slotted in your campaigns. Link in description. You ever open the fridge and despite it being full to the brim think, gah, there's nothing to eat? Well, this is kind of what we want to avoid. It's not that your fridge is full of things that you dislike, it's just the things you don't want in that moment. But what if you could open your fridge and have the perfect row of snack food available? Organization is boring, I get it. But it's really necessary for you to not just endlessly end up flipping through the pages and feeling like the fridge has nothing to taste in it. But organization is actually really simple for an inspiration journal. Just make a couple of chapters spaced apart. Your chapters should include NPCs, villains, hooks, monsters, and mechanics. Make sure that you include this one. It helps so much with creating side objectives within a session. And if you're unsure of what a mechanic even means, or you just aren't sure where you would run into a mechanic out in the wild, for example, while I was watching Arcane, Jinx and Vi went into a dark cave. Only by crapping light appeared, little mushrooms glowing along the sides of the cave. This ended up being a mechanic that I used to create a spooky session of the final session for one of my campaigns, balancing a monster that hunted you by sound and then needing sound to see through magical darkness. Okay, so you get that now. We got our chapters, we're now ready to start filling them in. But don't be afraid to put inspiration from weird sources. Yes, movies, books, games, shows, and even other TTRPGs we play in or Let's Plays can give great ideas to fill out our journal. But single quotes like one of my favorite ones, power, real power, doesn't come to those who were born strongest, or fastest, or smartest. It comes to those that will do anything to achieve it. Which actually inspired one of the species that I'll be releasing over on my Patreon. Or the things that you witness in your own life, like how my cat always tries to help load the dishwasher, even if she only gets in the way, which inspired what I called the lovable idiot monster type. Monsters that try to help with an attention, but just generally make things worse. Or even music, like Fire to the Fuse, a League of Legends song that I want to make into a boss for a future game so bad, where the boss takes you and splits you into multiple copies of yourself, splitting your memory, and the only way to get them back is by hunting down your own memories, alternate versions of you, and killing your copies. Not only can you fill it with inspiration from other things, but also sometimes you're just gonna have banger ideas. Out of the blue, from nowhere. Ideas that you would almost always end up losing just because you didn't write them down. Basically, every time I leave the shower, I have an idea to write down either about this YouTube channel, or my campaign, or my comic colorist day job. Don't let your greatest D&D ideas slip away, and check out the Patreon, and have a fantastic day.